Welcome to another VeChain update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our Discord updates. They used to be daily, but right now there's nothing happening. And once something happens, like this drop right here, for example, when this happened, I was giving you like 500 million updates. So yeah, if you are interested in that, make sure to check out the memberships. And let's talk about VeChain for a second. So VeChain is currently below the bull market support band. We have a 1-2 setup on the chart right here, but it's not looking too great. I can actually give you a support zone for this 1-2 setup, so let's just give me a second here. So this is the support zone for the 1-2 setup. Let me put this right here, and right now we seem to be at the golden ratio level of the first wave. So if we get below the golden ratio level, which is 0.618 support level, then we will most likely get another low in the second wave, well, the fourth wave right here actually. And yeah, that would not be the best thing in the world, to be honest. Now, we are already in a diagonal right here, and you cannot really trust a diagonal, which means that we could always get another low in the main second wave right here before we continue. And that would not be the worst thing in the world, to be honest with you. I would much rather get another low than, having to be in a diagonal. But if we don't get another low, and if we don't drop below this right here, which is at about 0.01 cents, then we should be fine. And the next target would be somewhere above the third wave right here. So I think somewhere between, let's say, 9 cents and even like 11 cents or so would be fine for a fifth wave move. And once we get these 5 waves, I will finally be able to confirm that the first wave of the main third wave has started, which means that even if we get a fifth wave right now, after that, we will still lead another ABC structure to the downside for the second wave move. And then we start the altcoin season in the third wave of the third wave. And I think that could take some time. Like I said in my previous video, we are still in QT, we are not in QE, which means that, the altcoins could continue to bleed against Bitcoin, and Bitcoin dominance could theoretically go higher and higher. Is it going to go higher? I don't know. Could we get to like 66% by the end of the month and then we could start dropping? I mean, maybe that's a possibility, and you have to be aware of that, so be careful with this. And like I said, even if we do get another low in the second wave right here, it would not be the end of the world. I believe this right here is actually the 0.618 support level of the first wave, this first wave. So if we somehow drop here again, we should not really, drop to the 0.786 support level. We should just get a lower low right here to invalidate the whole structure. But like I said, we don't have to do that. However, you have to keep in mind, it looks like we will have a cross on the bull market support band, and this usually means that the price will just continue going lower. For example, here, after we had a cross on the bull market support band, yes, we did drop a lot, but we continued dropping after that. So it could be a case that, yeah, maybe VeChain will get another low in the second wave before we continue, and that would still not be bearish because the second wave held support levels multiple times. It reacted to the support zone multiple times, so it's really good. I mean, the chart is looking very great, so it should be okay for the time being, and in the long term it would still be pretty good in my opinion. Now, the third wave of this 1-2 setup right here, this 1-2 setup, the minimum target for the third wave is at 23 cents, and I know that sounds insane, but trust me, once the altcoin season actually starts and once, Bitcoin dominance starts dropping, this level is gonna feel like nothing once we actually get back to it, if we get back to it. I'm not saying that we will, maybe we will not, maybe we start a bear market right now. It's very unlikely in my opinion, but it's always the possibility that we do something entirely different. From the 4-year cycle point of view, of course, we are still doing pretty good. And you have to keep in mind that the previous 2 altcoin seasons actually started in March and in February. So, well, actually at the end of February and at the end of March. So we're still pretty much early right now. Now, I had a theory that maybe we will start dropping because we had a cross on the bull market support band, and it looked like the bull market support band will do something like this, but apparently that did not happen, and we are about to have another cross right now. So like I said, we could get another high on the Bitcoin dominance chart before we dropped, but that would not be bearish, and in my opinion that would only be more bullish, because I mean, if we get to like 66%, that means that the drop will be even bigger, and that means that the altcoins will do even better. So I think that's still bullish. I don't know why people are complaining. Of course, it's not nice to see Bitcoin dominance at cycle highs again, because some of you probably bought this top right here. Some of you probably FOMO'd in. Maybe not. Maybe you were watching my videos when we were down here. I highly doubt that, to be honest, but maybe you did. And yeah, I mean, if you bought this right here, you should be fine in the long term. However, you should not come into my comments and complain that the altcoin market is dead. Of course it is, because Bitcoin dominance is at cycle highs. So if you bought this right here and then you came into my comments and, complained that, yeah, VeChain is not doing anything and that it's a dead coin, I mean, it's your fault and you should not blame me for, you FOMOing in and buying this stop right here. Now, like I said, in the long term, you should be fine, but right now you are not fine. So if you bought this right here, you are already down like what, about 70%. So obviously it does not feel good to lose money. However, like I said, if you don't sell, then you don't lose money. So, keep that in mind. Now, VeChain is still looking very, very good, and I think that we will break the all-time highs very, very soon. I know the all-time highs are like at about 28 cents, but that's not really, something to be concerned about, because 28 cents is not really a lot. Also, I believe I just said Chainlink again. I don't know why I keep confusing Chainlink with VeChain, but anyways. So VeChain should be able to get above this high right here in the third wave, in my opinion. And I've been saying this for many, many months now. I think the third wave will top by May of 2025. And I have something that could back up that theory. And what is it? Well, in the previous cycle, the first wave high right here actually, ended in April for Chainlink. Well, in the previous cycle, the VeChain chart actually topped in April and then we started going down. However, you have to keep in mind that, some altcoins had another cycle high in November, and VeChain was one of the altcoins that did not do that. But if you look at some other altcoins, for example, Dogecoin was around during the previous altcoin season, which was the 2017 altcoin season. And as you can see, for example, in the 2017 cycle, which is right here, Dogecoin started dropping in May. And what do you know, in 2021, it started dropping in May again. Now, why is that? Why did it drop right here? Because usually the summer is very boring for the altcoin market, and I'm not expecting this cycle to be any different, which means that if we actually start going up at the end of February or at the end of March, the pump will most likely last until May, and I think it will be a massive pump. I think many altcoins will get to all-time highs again, and then once we get to May, that's when we start the boring summer and we go down for a couple of months, which would be perfect because that would be a fourth wave move to the downside, and then at the end of the year, some of the altcoins will even get a fifth wave move to the upside. I don't know if VeChain will get one or not, so it's really hard to say because in the previous cycle, VeChain only went up in a three-wave move, so it's hard to say if in this cycle it will be any different. However, like I said, you always need to take profits. Now, I'm not giving you financial advice, of course, but if you bought on this zone right here, and if we get to like 23 cents, I mean, taking some profits will never hurt you. And, if you are up like 8x, maybe even 10x, then of course you should take some profits. You should not get too greedy. And also, speaking of greediness, you should look at the fear and greed index, and as you can see right now, it's in fear, which means that you should be greedy. And like I said, whenever someone is greedy, well actually, when everybody is greedy, you should be fearful, and when everybody is fearful, you should be greedy, and right now everybody seems to be fearful. So, I mean, this could be a good opportunity to buy right now. I'm not saying that you should buy, but maybe it's a good opportunity. I mean, we got to the support zone and we reacted to it multiple times. However, like I said, we could get another low, so maybe you should wait for that opportunity, but this might never happen. Maybe we will not get another low. Now, to confirm that we will get another low, we pretty much have to drop below this extension right here, this support zone, which is 0.786 support level of the third wave. If we drop below that level, we will most likely get another low right here, which would be okay. I mean, ICP just did this. ICP just invalidated all of the 1-2 setups that it had, and it got another low in the second wave right here. So yeah, it reacted to the 0.618 support level again, and I think that at some point we will start bouncing in a third wave, and that will only happen when Bitcoin dominance starts dropping, of course. And if VeChain does the exact same thing as ICP, that will not be the end of the world, and that would actually be okay as long as we don't break the support level and as long as we stay above this low right here. We should be fine in the long term. Now, if you look at the RSI, the daily RSI is almost oversold, and maybe we're actually working on, being oversold before we actually start going up. And to be oversold, I think we could get another low right here in the fourth wave, which could put us at 0.025 cents. And yeah, if we do that, if we get to the oversold territory, that will actually be very, very bullish, because the last time we got to the oversold territory on the daily was down here, and what do you know, down here VeChain was at about 1.8 cents. Right now we are almost oversold and we're at about 3 cents, so we are obviously doing better than we were doing a couple of months ago, and that's all you need to know. If we are doing better than we were doing a couple of months ago, things are still fine in my opinion. Also, the structure that we have on the chart right now, this trend line, this uptrend, looks very similar to what we had here, and this was tested multiple times. As you can see here, we had a 1-2 setup which got invalidated, and this cycle the 1-2 setup did not get invalidated, which is actually very nice. And then after that we had a crash. However, this was the pandemic crash, so you can pretty much ignore it. After the 1-2 setup, as you can see, it was starting to go up, and then it went up just like it did right here after this 1-2 setup, and then we went down, and right now we went down again. So I think it's only a matter of time until we start doing this, and if we don't do this by May, then the altcoin market will obviously not look great, because the previous altcoin seasons started in February, well, at the end of February or at the end of March. So if we don't start going up by the end of March, it's going to be extremely concerning for the altcoin market. And it will definitely be interesting to see what happens after that, because if we are not at all-time highs by the end of May, then we could get bear market lows when we drop in the summer, and that would obviously not be great. So yeah, we'll see what happens with this. I'm still bullish on VeChain, I'm still bullish on the altcoin market, and you should be as well, because Bitcoin dominance is at cycle highs. So, I mean, in my opinion, you should always buy altcoins when Bitcoin dominance is near cycle highs, because that's how you will get most of your gains, in my opinion. But like I said, that's only my opinion, and you should not take it as financial advice. Anyways, that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.